We see a team like the Patriots, who are so far ahead the favorite in so many categories. They lose a star receiver, and then now people are kind of scrambling. How does that adjust the line?
As far as injuries go, it definitely adjusts the lines. I think a quarterback, a marquee quarterback, if you're missing a Tom Brady or a Ben Roethlisberger or an Aaron Rodgers or a Drew Brees, you're going to see a weekly adjustment of probably a touchdown in those games. So, but I think right now, when you look at a Julian Edelman or a Spencer Ware, it's not really a huge adjustment in the line just yet. I think it's more quarterbacks than anything else, but that definitely has impact. And if you look at Tom Brady and his stats with Julian Edelman in the lineup are much greater than when he's not in the lineup. So I think we'll have to look at that. But they've made adjustments. I mean, in the offseason, they made the biggest splash by trading for Brandon Cooks. They get a deep threat. You look at the emergence of Chris Hogan. They signed Mike Gillislee from the Bills, and so now you've got Gillislee, Lewis, and White in the backfield. They've got guys that can fill that role, and they kept Danny Amendola, who's kind of a clone of Julian Edelman. So you've got weapons there. But it's something that we monitor every single minute of every single day in every sport. Trades, injuries, weather. We're trying to stay on top of it because, as I mentioned earlier, information era, the guests know it, so we need to know it.
Definitely. A healthy Gronk never hurts.
A healthy Gronk never hurts. You look at their record with Gronk and then when he's not in the lineup. So if Gronk were to go out too on top of Edelman, of course that would have an adverse situation, I think, for the Patriots. But right now we're just monitoring it. I think the two big quarterbacks going into the season are Andrew Luck and Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's case, the Ravens are saying he is going to be there for Week 1. In Andrew Luck's case, they're saying we don't know if he's going to be there for Week 1. It makes our job and to set a line much easier if we know they're in or out. The question mark is what it's really, really hard. But try to do the best that we can and adjust accordingly once that information comes in.
One person we know is out, and, well, we're kind of waiting here on the bubble, is Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys.
That's a tough one, too.
And he's valuable, maybe even beyond the quarterback on that team. So how do you wait to the last second to set that line when a guy's going through an appeal process? There's 6 weeks possibly he could get lowered, and does that affect even future bets on how a team may be?
It does in Elliott's case. I mean, when you look at the year that he had last season, and as I mentioned earlier, I think quarterbacks are the key, but there are a few running backs that would impact the line. I don't think he impacts it more than maybe a half a point, maybe a point, some people have said, but it is tough now because he's going through the appeal process. We saw Tom Brady do it a few years ago. It lasted the entire season. So we don't know what will happen with Ezekiel Elliott. We hope we'd have some sort of a clear-cut answer and a definitive answer either way, but we'll just monitor it. It may cause us to move games a little bit quicker, or maybe to even limit a game until we have the information. That's such a big game. The opening Sunday night football game on the prime time, Giants-Cowboys. Last thing we want to do is ever take that game off the board. We're just going to monitor it really, really closely until we find out for sure if Zeke's in or if Zeke's out.
Go Giants. Just bet on that. So it's all right.
I'll root for who we need. Forget about Go Giants.